Greetings veg lovers and welcome back to my little garden. Now today I'm going to show you around what's happening in the garden because we haven't really seen it for a month or two. The weather's been abysmal, been very wet, but also I've got some other plants on which to plant today. My goji berry has come, so I shall be putting that in today. I've also got some ferns because I've got some dark patches on my little bed at the bottom there that I like to think of as my woodland, even though it's got figs and plums, which you probably won't find in woodland, but I like to use it as that. So that's where I'm going to plant those. And I've got 4 types of fern here, and also a lily nose that's finding it all very interesting. Little. This is obviously the goji berry, which is what I was telling you about before in a previous video. Can really get out of hand, so it's a good idea to keep that potted, which is what I'm going to be doing. Now I've also got here, this is the ferns I've got. Now this one is, if I can see it, but this is a silver falls one, so this is going to obviously grow and have more silver foliage. This one, which is tiny at the moment, so what was that called? So there's a few different ones on there. That one is the upside down, that's the red one, so that's going to be a red one. And we've got then golden brilliance, which I'm assuming is going to be a golden brilliance. and that one is the Lamina, which again they should be all different, so they should look really nice when they grow. I've also got here some bulbs, which is this is the lily, which one was it? It's Susan. So spring is here and the garden is starting to burst into life a little bit. It looks a little bit greener and a little bit lusher than it did before. Still a way to go yet, but I'll show you what's happening. And this bottom, my woodland bit, as I always call it here, the plum has now lost its blossom, because that did blossom. It did have a few, so I might get some plums maybe. I'm surprised if I do, from well, it being so prolific last year, but it might. We'll have a look at that. Obviously the leaves are starting to come out now on the fig, and we always get a lot of figs on here, so that's gonna look really nice. We did have a few of the wild garlic come through, which obviously I won't be picking. You know, it probably needs a couple of years or so to branch out, because we don't want to ruin it. We want it to grow and get more of it and carpet this place. Now I'm sure that this next to it, I'm sure that was the bluebells I planted, because I've got a couple of others over there as well, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But this is where I'm going to plant, obviously, the ferns I've got, because this is quite a darkish area. Self-seeded aquilegias. So we've got self-seeded aquilegias here, which I'm quite happy they can stay as they like. Behind it I've got oregano in America. That's always been there for many years. It might get a bit swamped. And of course we've got the rosemary, which is just actually flowered, so, and that always does well and stays well. I've got other ferns here. This is a big fern that will slowly unravel itself in the next few weeks. And if I move over to all this here, now these are they give such fabulous blue flowers, and they sort of just take over the place, but they are so beautiful. Now I've forgotten what I said they were called. I'll tell you later. I'll write it below to say what it is, but it does really take over beautifully, and it hangs and goes into all kinds of places that you want to disguise, so it's really quite a nice thing to have in your garden. Self-seeded here, obviously is going to be foxgloves by the look of it. So foxgloves there, and obviously you get loads and loads. I'm sure you all get quite a lot of forget-me-nots, which turn up everywhere, which I'm quite happy to leave quite a few of because they're a nice pretty flower to have at this time of year. We've also got the alliums that I planted last year are coming through again now. And we've also got popped up there a raspberry that seems to pop up on its own everywhere as well. And we've got one on the end here, and I thought I'll just put this little structure up here because I'll probably let that one grow, but I'll have to remove the other one. Over on this side, this was the strawberries I planted a few weeks ago. They're growing well, so hopefully they will produce some strawberries for us. Now this is where I planted seeds in this bed, and I'll have to admit the birds or whatever else have been digging them up rapidly, so I don't know what I've got coming through there at all. It does look like I've got some carrots coming through or something at the back there, so at least there might be something. I'm not sure if I've got the rocket coming through or it could be weeds. We really don't know because nothing has come through yet. Perhaps it's a little cold, I don't know, but nothing's happened yet. Still haven't cleaned up these yet. They planted some seeds last time as well, some tomato seeds, and they've done nothing, so I might have to get a couple of tomato plants I think to put in there. Blueberries. Now I'm really pleased with these because these have obviously got quite a lot of flowers and things on them, so we're going to get some blueberries this year because it didn't last year with repotting and really giving it a good trim. So this year looks pretty good for these. I've got strawberries that just self-seeded themselves along the path here, so I'll leave those as well. The gunnery in the pot over there is started to come out now, and we seem to have yet more self-seeded aquilegias that have turned up in that pot and at the side of it. So fair enough, let them do their thing. This, if you remember, was the pink blueberry, and that's got little flowers on it too, so hopefully I might get something off that in its first year. And then this pot is where I planted coriander, quite a lot of coriander in that, so that's okay, that's growing, which is what I wanted to see, along with things from trees that have fallen down. The garlic and onions, whatever there are there, which I just threw in after I finished the allotment, I'm not sure what's going to happen with them or which ones are which, to be honest, at the moment, so we'll just have to keep an eye on them. They seem to be doing okay. The peas are planted. They are okay, they're doing their thing, I suppose. I also planted in this part here some sugar snap peas, so whether they'll come through hopefully shortly, we'll see. And it looks like there's quite a few weeds that are going to come through there as well, so I have to keep them in check in the next few weeks. Remember I planted this last month. This is the guava. I'm not sure if it's doing anything yet at all. Doesn't seem to have moved anything, but it's there. Along with the little raspberry, which has started to grow. And the other strawberries, which seem to be doing really well in this pot. So I'm assuming these are the early varieties, the marshmallow ones, but I'll see there. Over on this side, I've got some little flowers that I planted last year as well, which I can't remember the names of. And I got rid of the goji from this part, as you would have seen if you watched a previous video, and just left the jasmine there to grow and do its thing. The rhubarb looks like that has started to I need to get rid of those flowers, they've come on there. But there's absolutely loads of ladybirds all over the place again. I need to get rid of those. But I'm also going to be picking some of the rhubarb today because I'm going to be making a crumble tonight. And as this is the first year I could really pick some, I'm going to pick these, and it'll make more room at the front as well if I pick the front ones for the other plants that I've got to grow in there, which I think was the bergamot and what was it now? It's the same sort I've got down there. I'll think of it in a minute. Now, this bed needs a good clear up because I haven't really touched this. So we've got lots of cleavers and things that shouldn't be here growing. And at the front of it we've got, again, self-seeded aquiledias. So again, they can be left to do their thing. The apple blossom is coming out now, which is always lovely. So I really do like to see the apple blossom. And the other raspberry bush has now come into leaf and will grow rapidly, as will the cleavers at the back, which I really need to clear up and probably have some tea with them or something. The other blueberry here, again, covered in flowers, and so hopeful on this that we'll get some good blueberries this year. The pots at the back here are where my husband's man cave is. I did put some herbs in it last year. This was which one was this from last year? That was the sage, wasn't it? That was the sage from last year. So that's come through again. And that's a pot of nothing over there, so I need to clear that out as well. But this has come back as well. This was the cola plant, which smells of Coca-Cola. And it still smells of Coca-Cola. So that's good. So I need to get rid of some of the other weeds and everything that's growing through here. But that's all right. There. And the herbs from last year are coming through here lots of times, lots of different times. We've got lemon times, lots of variegated times and ordinary times. And that was the stuff that actually smells like olive oil. So that's great to put in food for Italian food and things like that. And these were, I think these are the variegated mint. Yes, they were. And what's this one growing? Oh, it smells minty as well, so that's another mint. We've got, what's that here? These are chives. They were garlic chives that I planted last year, so they still survived. So that's good. So now, the main job I'm going to do now is plant up those plants that have come and put in, I think I might put the lilies, I might put them by the apple tree there, so that'll bring some nice colour into that spot that I've got nothing in at the bottom around there. So from one lily to another, I'm going to get planted. Oh, okay, I've planted the bulbs in this part here, so I've had a bit of a weeding session, as we can see here. So plenty more weeding to do yet, especially all around the sides there. It seems to be a never-ending task. I've pulled up some of the rhubarb to have for tea tonight, and just had a bit of a clear away of some of the pests of grass that were growing around there too. So I've just had a bit of a clean round there. But now the other things I planted. Back of the garden there, I've put one of the small, you probably can't see that right at the back there, that's one of the small ferns I've put there, and I've planted the really teeny weeny one at the edge here. We'll see how that goes. I've got the feeling that's probably the rarer species, that's why it's so tiny. And there's another one I put there, again at the edge of the wall, and one a little bit more central there. So hopefully once they get going, well, and they'll self-seed also, so I should get quite a few of these different ones. Well, that's it for now. It's nice to have some flowers in the garden as well, obviously to attract pollinators into the garden. That's just the pond. It's just nice to get these to get the birds as well into the pond so they can eat some of the aphids, which are usually a problem, especially in a small garden. But it's nice to have my first pickings out of the garden with the rhubarb. And it's nice to see also that everything is starting to grow, apart from the veg, which is really the important thing. We'll have to see how that goes and grows. If it gets later season and I haven't got anything that's growing very well, I will probably buy some plug plants, put them in and do it that way. Although this is obviously a cheaper option to do it when you can grow it from seed. The goji berry is sitting down in its plot. So there it is. It's got a little cage around it now so it can spread out a little bit. But I will not make the mistake of planting that in my main beds at all. Well, thank you for watching today and seeing how everything's progressing in April. Hopefully in a few weeks' time things will be growing a lot more and you'll be able to see what actually is growing and what isn't. But for now, I'll see you next time. Thank you, veg lovers. Bye.